Good morning students, welcome back to Java class. In today's class, I'll explain the remaining streams of Java. See, yesterday already I explained what is a stream, how many types of streams we have, and file input and output streams I completed yesterday. Right, see what is a stream? Stream is a sequence of characters. What is a stream? Stream is a sequence of characters. And if you are giving input, if user is giving input at runtime, that is nothing but the input. And if output is displayed on the console, that is nothing but the output stream. So finally, what is a stream is? Stream is a sequence of characters. And suppose instead of taking input from instead of printing information on the console and taking input from a console, if you are storing any data into a file and if you are printing any data from a file, then in Java we have two different streams, that is a file input stream and file output streams. Okay, so that part yesterday we completed. Now today I will complete the remaining streams in Java. So today first let me explain a scanner class. Scanner is also a stream, and this scanner is also used to take input from a user at runtime. Okay, Java scanner class allows the user to take input from the console. You can underline that point. Java scanner class, it is a class which allows the user to give values at runtime. So using a scanner class, we can give input at runtime. After the compilation, at the time of interpretation, we can supply an input. And this scanner class belongs to the java.utilities package. So whenever you want to use a scanner class, it is a condition that you should include java.util package at the start, at the beginning of the program. So if you want to include java.util package, we cannot use the classes available in that package. So scanner is a class of java.util package. So if you want to use the scanner class, then it is a condition that you should include java.utilities package. Understood? From which package we are getting this scanner class? Utilities. So if you want to use a scanner class, it is a condition that we should include utilities package in the program at the beginning, so that we can use all the methods of this class. We can use the scanner class. Understood? And here you see the next point. It is used to read input of primitive data types. So using scanner class, we can take different types of input from a user at runtime. So what type of input you can collect from a user? So using this, we can collect input of primitive data types. I think you all know the primitive data types: int, double, long, short, and float. So you can collect input from a user, and that input can be type of int, double, long, short, and float. So this is a very easiest method to collect input from a user at runtime. Now, how to use the scanner class? See here, you see the syntax. For scanner class, I have given the syntax. Scanner is a class. S is an object. See here, SC is an object. You can give any object. Here I have given SC. If you want, you can give SC1, SC2, SC3. So it is an identifier. Our wish, we can give any name to that object. Scanner is a class. SC is an object. New is the memory allocation operator. And scanner is a constructor here. System.in is a parameter. Now I have given a little definition about the above syntax. See, the above statement creates a constructor of the scanner class having system.in as a parameter or as an argument. It means it is going to read from the standard input stream of the program. So system.in means what? Here whatever input, whatever data you are collecting from a user, that is at runtime, and whatever data you are collecting, that is from a system only, and from standard input devices it is going to collect the data. Okay, see here, it means it is going to read data from the standard input stream. Okay, standard input stream means like a keyboard like that. So in the particular program we are going to read data from a standard input. Understood? Now here you see methods of Java scanner class. Methods of Java scanner class. So what methods? As I already said, class contains objects. That objects contains different methods. So when you are creating an object of the scanner class, what methods you can implement in that object. So here I have given few methods that you can use with the scanner object. Okay, see here, int method, and see the description. Int next int, it is a method. Here in a next int, n is in a lowercase, I is in a uppercase. It is used to scan the next token of the input as an integer. So whatever value you are giving at runtime using this method, that is an integer. Okay, next float means whatever you are going to take from a user, that is a float. So depends on the value you are passing to a system. Based on that you should call the method. Okay, next int means the user is going to give an integer. Next float means the user is going to give a float value at runtime. Next double means the user is going to give double value at runtime. Next byte value. Next line means it is going to pass the line as an input. Next boolean, long, short. So these are nothing but the primitives. So whatever primitives you want to pass to the system, based on that you select any one of the method here. Okay, see here, class user input demo. Class is a keyword, user input demo is the name of the class. Now you see public static void main, it is a main method. Program execution start from the main method. String args is an array, and that is a type of string. Array, and it is a type of string. See here, why we are giving string and args? Args is a type of string we are giving. Why we are giving like that is, from the command prompt, from the console, whatever input you are giving, by default that input is a type of a string. So that is why always whenever you are giving a args array, that should be declared as a string. So that by default data type, whatever values you are giving at console, that is stored in a args array, and args array is a type of string. Now you see here, scanner class, one object I am creating here, scanner sc. Sc I have given, you can give any name. Sc equals to new scanner. Here scanner is a constructor, as already explained. Scanner is a constructor means by default it will be executed. Next in the bracket you see system.in. So system.in is called as a argument. It is going to collect input data from a standard input devices of the system. From a standard input stream it is going to collect. So what standard input device we are using? Keyboard we are using. So whatever data you are giving from a keyboard, that is passed to the system. So this scanner constructor is used to collect the data. Understood? That system.in means that only. Now after that we are giving a prompt, system.out.print enter first number. So first I am giving a message to the user that enter a first number, then the user gives a value. Okay, so here you see int a equals to sc dot next int. See, next int means user is giving an integer value. That integer value is stored inside a. So whatever value the user is giving, that is converted into the integer and it is stored in a next integer. Now here you no need to use the parse method, directly you can use a scanner. Okay, next int. So whatever value is there in a sc and that we are implementing a next int method so that it converts the value into the integer, and that is stored in a. Now you see, second, we are giving a prompt to the enter second value. Now again that is also converted into integer, stored in a b. Again we are giving a prompt to the enter the next number, third number. Again that is also converted in the integer. Next we are calculating d equals to a plus b plus c. So whatever three values you are collecting from a user, you are taking from a user at runtime by using a standard input stream that is stored in a, b, c. Next we are calculating d equals to a plus b plus c. After that we are printing a d value. Now you see the here whatever values you are giving, that are all integers. Example, you want to write a program to take a string value from a user, means characters, messages you want to collect at runtime. Same again, first thing is I want to use a scanner class, then you need to use utilities package. Now import java.util. What is the use of this line? Using this line we are importing utilities package. When you are importing a utilities package, whatever classes are available in that utilities package, that will be invoked into our program. Next you see, class user input demo is the name of the class. We can give any name. Now come to the main method, public static void main. It is a main method. Again string args is an array and it is a type of a string. So whatever values you are giving from the command prompt, from the console, that are all type of strings. So that is why whatever you are giving from that area, from the console, that are stored in a args array. Now you see, again I am creating a scanner object. Scanner sc equals to new scanner system.in. Again it is used to collect input values from the standard input stream. Now I am giving a prompt to the user to enter the value, system.out.print, enter a string. So after this prompt the user will give the value, the user will give the string. So that string is stored in str. You see, string str equals to sc dot next line. Here next line method is used to read the line of string. So whenever you are giving an integer, directly will use next int, next float, like that. But if it is a string, directly will use the next line method. When we'll use the next line method? When you are correcting, whenever you are taking any input data from a user and that is a type of a string, then we'll use a next line method. Next line, and whatever string you gives, that is stored in a str. Now that string as it is we are printing on the screen. Okay, see, only the thing you need to remember is here first thing is, if you want to use actually what is the use of the scanner class? It is used to collect input from a user. So whenever you want to collect input from a user, then first thing is you need to import the utilities package, because scanner class we are getting from a utilities package. After giving the input, the next line is you should create object to the scanner class. That is the second point. Third point, you should give scanner class constructor and you should give the parameter as a system.in. What it means, we are going to collect input from a user from the standard input stream. Next, whatever value you are taking from a user, based on that you call any one of the method of the scanner classes. If you are collecting an integer, we'll use next int. If you are collecting a float, we'll use next float. And if you are collecting any input data as a string from a user, then we'll use the next line method. So depends on the data you are collecting from a user, based on that you call that particular method and store that values into the variable. Okay, so this is about the scanner class. And actually when scanner classes are more useful when you will take more number of values, like array if you are using, then scanner class is very easy compared to the buffer. Okay, so this is about scanner class. Okay, next we'll continue the buffer. Now let us discuss about buffer input stream. Buffered means, actually I think you all know, when you are downloading anything, example you are downloading a movie from internet. So it is buffering means what? A part it is storing, already memory is given, and it is storing means parts, one frame it is storing inside that particular place. So that is nothing but the buffering. So here also in Java we have a buffered input stream. Okay, so buffered is also, it is used to read, information from stream. So means it is also like a scanner class only. It is also used to read the stream, means it is also used to read collection of characters, sequence of characters. But here the thing is, it is internally uses buffer mechanism to make the performance fast. Means whenever you are using a buffer class, no, few bytes of memory is given, so that you can store values into that. That is nothing but the buffering. So that process is used by the buffered class. Okay, so here some few points are given about this buffer. When the bytes from the stream are skipped or read, the internal buffer automatically refilled from the contained input stream many bytes at a time. See, when bytes from the stream are skipped, or when you are pressing an enter, then what happened? The internal buffer is automatically refilled from the contained input stream. So automatically when you are entering any data, whenever you are pressing any enter key like that, internally automatically buffer will be filled. Next, when buffered stream is created, an internal buffer array is created. When buffer input stream is created, means internal buffer array is created, means this much memory is given. Example, 5 bytes of memory, 10 bytes of memory is given. So that is nothing but the stream array, that is called as a buffer array. Buffer array means you can store values into that buffer. Array means what? We can store more than one value, right? So here buffer array. Buffer array means here whenever you are creating a buffer class, then what happened? This much memory is given to that class, so that the buffer class can use that memory to store the values given by the user at runtime. See, program. See here, first you see the green color box. In this program, read individual data. Example, I have written program to collect data from a user. This is a Java program. Next, buffered input stream is created, because in the program I have given the buffered. Next, that data is given to the hard disk. See, whenever first you see from the left to right, disk, it is a hard disk example. Block of data is given to the buffer stream. Say example, my hard disk is a 2 GB. Only 20 bytes of memory I have given to the buffer stream. So this buffer stream is used to store that data whenever the user gives data at runtime. And in order to take data from a user at runtime, we'll write the code, we'll write the program in a Java program. So that is a program to read individual data. So the buffer stream gets means it gets the memory from the hard disk. And that memory, what is the use of this buffered memory? When the user is collecting data at runtime, then that data is stored in a buffered array. From that buffered array again will store in a hard disk. Now you see here buffered. See, scanner class already have given constructor, right? So in the constructor, system.in as a parameter. In the same way for buffered class also you need to create a constructor. See, public class buffered input stream extends file input stream, because is a buffered is a part of the file input stream. Now you see constructors. What constructors we have for the buffered input stream? And you see, in case of scanner, system.in have given as a parameter, so argument. So in buffer class we'll give input stream space in. So input stream is a argument of buffered input stream constructor. Okay, now you see it creates a buffer input stream and saves its argument, the input stream in, for later use. So what happened? Whatever stream you are getting from a standard input that is stored in a in, that is an object. You see here buffered input stream. You can see buffered input stream in comma int size. See here it creates a buffered stream with the specified buffer size. Example, in order to store the values, example 5 or 6 values, I want 20 bytes of memory, example. So that 20 bytes of memory is called as a size. Okay, now int size is nothing but that 20 bytes of memory, and that 20 bytes of memory, in order to store data into that 20 bytes of memory, from where we are collecting the data? We are collecting the data from an input stream. Okay, that is the difference between two constructor. In the first constructor, just we are giving a input stream. In the second constructor, we are giving a size, how much buffer we want, that also we are specifying in a second constructor. Okay, now you see the example program. So all these packages I am including, all these classes I am including here. io.buffered, see buffered stream is available in IO, file input stream is also available in IO, file not found exception is also available in IO, and IO exception is also available in IO. So these are the different classes based on our requirement we can use. Actually now I am going to explain program based on the buffered input stream. So the first class I am including buffer input stream, file input stream, because we are taking data from some particular file. Next file, now whatever file you are searching, it is an example not there. First, based on, means if you are expecting some errors, you are predicting some errors, okay, these type of errors are going to happen when you are executing the program, then you need to include the concerned classes which can handle that errors. Okay, so that 4 classes I am including here. Now public class read file is the name of the program, name of the class. Now you see public class read file is the name of the class. Next line you see the main method, public static void main. It is a main method, as you already said. String is a type of args is an array, and it is a type of strings. So next you see throws file not found exception. Example, you are storing whatever data you are taking from a user, that you are storing in a particular file. So when you are trying to store something into the file, there may be a situation that whatever file you are giving, that file may not exist in the system. So for whichever file you are searching, that file is not exist, then it is the responsibility of the compiler to throw an error. So it is always, it is not compulsory that whatever file you are giving, that should be exist in the system. There may be a situation where file may not exist in the system. So for whichever file you are for whichever file you want to execute, you want to store the data, for whichever file you want to read the data, suppose if that file is not exist, then some error information should be thrown to the user. For that purpose, here we are using a file not found exception. Suppose that file is not exist, so whatever file you are searching, if that file is not exist, then we should throw some error to the user. For that purpose, here I am including this file not found exception. Okay, so that if the file is not exist, error will be thrown to the user. Now you see, first I am creating a object for the file input stream, because here we are dealing with the file input stream. Okay, so file input stream f1, fi, it is fi is an object. You can give any object any name, and it is an object of which stream? File input stream, because here we are dealing with the files concept. Next, new file input stream, input file.txt. Okay, input file.txt is a argument, is nothing but the name of the file to which you want to read the content, from which you want to read the content. Now you see, next I am creating buffered input stream. Bi is an object. Okay, buffered input stream is a class, bi is an object. New buffered input stream is a constructor, fi. Here what is an fi? Fi is the object of file. In that object what you have? Input file.txt. Now here fi is nothing but input file.txt. Now here I want to read content from input file.txt file. Okay, see some content is there in that file. I want to read content from that file. So that is why here input file.txt is important, and from where you want to read the content, that you should give as a parameter. Here fi is a parameter. Okay, actually fi is nothing but input file.txt. Now you see, try. I am expecting an error from particular block. Example, whatever file I am searching, that may be sometimes that file may be exist or not exist. So try int I while I equals to bi dot read. Here what is the bi? Input file.txt, and I want to read content from that file. So bi dot Read. Read is a method and it is used to read some data from a particular file or particular console. So from where we are reading the data here? BI. BI is what? BI is nothing but the input file.txt here. BI.read is a method which is used to read content from a particular file. Not equals to -1. Not equals to -1 means content is at the last stage or the end of the file. Now read. If it is not equals to the end of the file, continuously we are reading data from that particular file. Now system.out.print char I. So whatever characters are there in that file, that continuously we are printing. Each and every character we are printing on the screen. That's it. Now bi.close, we are closing the buffer. After closing the buffer, we are closing the file. Now if there is any exception, example whatever file is there, that file is not exist, so that error should be caught, right? That error should be caught by the catch block. Okay, now this is about buffer input stream. We are opening one file and we are reading that files. Understood? In order to read that files, here we are using a buffer. So whatever characters are there in that file, that characters are stored continuously in a buffer. Now the next one is buffered output stream. See, buffered input stream means we are taking data from a console and we are storing that in a input stream. Buffered output means whatever data is there, that we are printing. Okay, so you see buffer output is the class in Java which we can use to write data into the output stream. Okay, so it is a class. Using this we can write data into the output stream. Example, I want to print something on the screen, so I need some data and that data is there in a buffered, so that you can print by using a buffered output stream. So buffered output stream is a class. Using this we can print something, we can print data on the output screen. Okay, and it uses buffer to write data instead of directly writing information into the file. Okay, instead of directly writing into the example, I want to, instead of reading the data from the file, I want to update some content in that particular file. So directly instead of updating that file, whatever data you are writing, that first it will go to the buffer and from the buffer it will go to the file. Okay, so instead of writing the data directly into the file, here in between a file, here what we are using? Buffer we are using. Okay, now we can use the file output stream class along with the buffered output stream to write information to the file. So the performance is faster than other streams since it writes data into the buffer and it then copies it into the disk at a time. So whatever file, whatever content you are entering, whatever data you want to enter into the file, so first where we'll enter? We'll enter into the buffered. After entering the buffer, a copy of the buffer will be created and that will be stored inside the file and inside the file which is there on the disk directly. Okay, now you see the constructors of the buffered output stream. See, it is the input stream means you are reading data from a file, so the data is coming from file to the buffer and buffer to the R program. But whenever you are writing something into a file, then whatever data you are giving, first it will go to the buffer and from the buffer it will go to the hard disk. Okay, in the same way, like a buffer input stream, whenever you want to update content into the file, you need to use the constructors of that. Okay, buffered output stream, in the bracket as a parameter you should give the output stream and object is the out. Now you see the description. It creates a new buffered output stream to write data to the output stream. Okay, next buffered output stream. Again in the second constructor we are giving size, how much you want to write. Understood? Now the third one, now you see the example program. As usual, here IO package I am using. Next, public class buffered output stream is the name of the class. Next you see main method I am using, public static void main. The main method from where a program execution start, and here throws exception I am giving. Why? Because to whichever file I want to write, maybe that file not exist. When that file is not exist, some helper message should be displayed to the user. So for that purpose I am using throws exception. Now file output stream f out, new file output stream, to which file we want to write the content, testout.txt. Now that file I am storing in a BOUT, It is an object of buffered output string. Okay, now you see string s equals to welcome to Java point. Okay, this is a string. This string where I want to write this into a file. Okay, which file? testout.txt. Now you see bytes b equals to s dot get bytes. Here s means what? Welcome to Java point. It is a string. So I want to get the bytes, total how much memory is there, and that bytes I want to write to the bout. Bout means what? Buffered. Again from bout, where I want to write? I want to write in a ef out. Okay, so this is about buffered input and output classes. Understood? Now here random access is there. That random access means here, example, if it is a buffered, it is an input stream, what happened? At a time only read or write operations can be done. But at a time if you want to perform both read and write operations, then we'll use the random access file. It is a non-sequential. Randomly you can select any file, randomly you can update any file, and randomly wherever you want to insert the data, directly you can update. Okay, so this is about streams in Java. Okay, thank you.